episode 3 of Karthritis. That was close. That was pretty close. This one is aptly called the Retro King. I'm sure this will become apparent as well at some point. All right. Introductions. State your name and the movie you haven't watched.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I am Joe Reinreb, and I haven't seen any Star Wars movies, and that might come to some surprise to some people in this chat,
Has to be
who
honest.
I know are big Star Wars fans here. So
Wow.
Is this out of spite?
no, it's just I never got around to doing it. Like my friends were big into it when I was like 8 or 9 or 10, but I just never watched it. My parents weren't into it. I never got into it. I don't know. I was big into video games and sports, and I just never got around to sci-fi stuff like that. Yeah. Sorry. I have nothing against the films. Like I understand why people are so passionate about it. I never got around to watching it. I guess it or them, I should say. There's like 9 of them now.
Yeah, there is. So it's not just like you missed out on one movie.
Yeah.
You missed out on 3
and I had plenty of time.
decades
It's not like I'm 12. You know?
I mean, I think for me, Star Wars is all kind of meh for me. I don't see that hype. So I wouldn't go chasing them down straight away, Joe.
Well,
I'm
he
sure
hasn't.
if I watched it when I was a kid, it would have been fine. But since I'm kind of past that point now, I don't know. I passed the point of no return, I suppose.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You should wear it as like a badge of honor and stuff.
No, because like everybody always says, "Oh, like what are you just trying to do it out of spite?" Like Sargoth, whatever. And it's not. Like I just never got onto doing it. I don't like contrarian myself into that kind of category. But just like, oh well, everybody's watching it. I'm gonna stay away from that. It's like no, it's just, it didn't interest me. So yeah.
All right, I'm KVD, and the movie I haven't watched. I know a lot of people are raving or were raving about it at the time. It's Inception. So it's a pretty.
You
that's
have
a gap
not
I feel.
watched Inception.
I have not watched Inception.
That's
I haven't
surprising
watched-
to me as well.
You're missing out on that one.
This is a good movie.
I also haven't seen Inception, so I'm with you.
Whoa!
This might be a running theme for
Yeah,
everybody.
we're gonna need to arrange some sort of movie night or something.
Yeah, but I have
Okay.
watched Inception, the South Park episode. So there's
And I love that episode. I just
It's a
I've
good
never seen the
episode.
source. The source material kind of just evaded me on that one.
South Park is probably better. Usually is.
Probably.
Well,
Right? My name is MeridianPrime, and the movie I haven't watched is 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh well.
You've read it though, right?
Yeah, we all read the book.
Sure.
I mean, you have to watch the movie.
I
Nice.
haven't watched it, haven't read it.
yeah.
I have no plan on doing either.
No.
Is the movie resembling the book, or is a lot of difference?
Wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else, any of us would know that answer.
That one is not getting making the cut for movie night.
No. We have to be, unless we're like really drunk or something. But yeah, I'm not picking it out of sheer will.
I heard it is good though. Those are
From
just rumors.
See, but I heard the exact opposite, so I don't know what to believe anymore.
I believe it depends on the gender,
yeah.
if it's reported to be good or not.
Yeah, but Carol,
Really?
both genders are. I'm sorry, both genders.
Oh,
That's so insensitive of me.
Joe.
All genders are equal.
Shit.
Oops, I gotta edit that one out of the show.
17
Sorry.
gender, so you should
Yeah,
know that.
there's at least 30 that I know of.
Oh, I heard 70.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. I guess Norway's a little bit more advanced than America.
Well, of
We're still trying to
course.
catch up.
I think Sweden was one of the first languages to implement the fourth. So he, she, it, and we also have a middle way between he and she.
It's like a zer and z and stuff like that.
Middle
I know they
way?
use like z's or
Yeah,
z's.
something in between
Both?
he and she.
Both or
Yeah.
not?
I think we're digressing into dangerous territory
Yes,
right
we
now.
can-
well,
are.
this is. I'm talking about language. I'm just giving
I
Sweden
know.
a shout out for being early on something.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, anyway, I'll draw a line underneath that and
All
say,
right, all
hello, I'm Zarkov, aka Clark. Most people know me as Clark. And the film I haven't seen, it's a big one, and I think everyone will agree that it's a big one. I haven't seen Jaws 2.
Nobody's seen
I was really
Jaws
hoping
2.
it wouldn't be a troll. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I
That's
should have
pretty
expected nothing less.
The thing is, I've seen Jaws and I've seen Jaws 3, but I
Oh.
haven't seen Jaws 2.
Did you lose the
Oh
plot?
well, yeah. You had to see 2 if you saw 3.
No, I haven't seen 2. I've only seen 3.
So-
I,
Yeah, no,
I,
you-
don't, I don't track them down.
You can't just
I-
skip
I-
in the series like
Yeah,
that.
so number 3 didn't make any sense to you then.
Right, there's some
Yeah,
pivotal
I'll-
plot points missing.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I think I need to go back and rewatch right from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a shark and a boat and some people.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see?
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, how complex could Jaws be? It's about a shark. There's this deep meanings and subversive plots that I've missed.
Oh, it's about family and sticking together
Well,
to overcome
I think
evil.
now you're talking. If we're talking subversive plots, I think you're talking about Sharknado, not Jaws.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
But you had to see like 2, 3, and 4 for the whole series to make sense.
Right, okay.
Because
Well, that's
Sharknado
what-
1's just getting into it. Like it's a slow burn.
And I know what I'm doing tomorrow night.
No, don't.
Yeah, let's not.
Anyway, so yeah.
All right,
Cool.
that leaves me. Sargoth. The movie I haven't seen will come as quite a defeat to our dear pal KVD, I think. I have never seen The Lion King.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, that's
That
just
is
a classic. Yeah.
that one hurts me more than any of the others, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I mean, I've seen like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, but I've never seen the movie. I never really gotten the plot or anything. I hear grown men cry, and that's enough to keep me away.
Well, I actually went to see the stage show quite recently, and it is one of the best things I've ever seen. It was utterly brilliant. So, and the film's great as well. So you're missing out, Marius.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up something about drawings, but I'll leave it be.
yeah, let's not go there.
All right. Well, that puts us squarely into the next part of the show, which let's start off with SMK again. So, in SMK news, there was a impromptu Dutch meeting last week, or this week even.
Yeah, it's true. So last Tuesday, MJ, who is now active and boosting, came by at the House of Gaming, and also long retired Dutch legend Willem van Voorst, who used to be back active back in 2004. So they dropped by to warm up for CDM. We had a bit of fun. Some match race, some Grand Prix, some blindfold challenge. Not much, but a little bit. That was cool.
Awesome.
And we got
Did
to
he-
see MJ play MC3.
Oh, that was
yeah.
an absolute joy. That was awesome to watch.
Yeah. It's poetry emotion.
Oh,
I think
That
the past broadcast is still available, Clark, so you may want to
I'll
just
yeah,
indulge
I'm
yourself a little bit instead of watching Sharknado tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I suggest you could, if you could squeeze it in, do both.
Right, so it's going to be MJ, then Jaws 2, then Sharknado. So,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So that's a nice little weekend you got planned there.
yeah, that is. Did MJ hit any big times, or is he all sort of still learning boosting?
No, he was really struggling with boosting actually. So the controller he uses, he drops a lot of boosts. And then I tried a little bit with it, and I couldn't steer with it well, but I wasn't dropping boosts. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But then he tried Lafango's pad and he tried my pad, and he was getting boosts with those, but he wasn't able to steer with it. So there's always something with Pro MBT pads, and they're I think very personal in terms of if they work for you or not. So MJ apparently is a bit sensitive with this, as am I actually. So he wasn't actually getting anywhere with the boosting.
Because I remember giving my pad once to some of you guys, I think a year or two ago, and like you were like, "How can you play with this? I can't do anything with it." Yeah, and then but if you play with it enough, then I think you just get used to it.
Yeah, I think it all also boils down on how you boost. So some people put their thumb down on the middle of the D-pad, and that works for some D-pads. It doesn't work for others, and others don't just alternate really left and right. So it also depends on that, I believe. And I know MJ is doing it differently than what I am doing. So I think that comes into play.
The whole ordeal is very finicky indeed.
It's a bit tiring, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of the downsides really of SMK for me. But
That
Same,
and Zoom
same.
stars.
Always
Yeah,
do
I
this.
think for those like picking up the game for the first time, they don't really realize how important the controller could really be, especially if like when you get into the advanced strategies like new boosting techniques and stuff. Like it really does make a huge difference. And oftentimes, like whenever I explain why my controller is different, they don't accuse me of cheating, but they say, "How can that be legit?" And I just say it's a long story, and I don't really want to delve into it all the time. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
certainly a
It is.
personal thing.
Nice.
all right, some more SMK news. There's been a couple of old CDM streams going on. I guess this one is yours as well, Carol. But Joe also joined.
Joe could do it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, we just did another episode of SMK Memories. It was 3 more matches. I don't remember off the top of my head who were racing. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's an extension of the previous one we did before. I think this time we were kind of a little bit distracted. We did some math fails on stream, which is always fun. So yeah.
One match we were watching was Mario and Harold, and we lost track of who was leading in the cup. So that was
yeah.
kind of.
And then we couldn't do math after somebody won 8 points. So yeah, that was a epic fail on our part. We will be more professional in the future.
Basic math, man.
Yeah, I mean 3 + 8 was really difficult for some reason.
15,
I
right?
think the best part was when we were like bantering back and forth at the end of the show, and I was like, "So real quickly, Joe, what's 5 + 2?" And then you answered.
Well, it depends if it's time trial or GP or match race. they're all different. So yeah. Yep. So
that was fun though.
Wasn't the brightest moment in both of our SMK careers, but it was fun nonetheless.
One of the best things also was that when we screwed up, Dan came into the chat box really briefly and said, "You're doing a hell of a job, guys," and then he left again.
Posing some security issues for our future streams, but yeah,
Shade.
It's always fun. I go in with a blank slate, so I have no idea what's happening, and sometimes I make stuff up, and sometimes I don't. So hopefully people have fun whenever they're listening.
I gotta say, a lot of those matches, the commentary is great, guys, by the way, but a lot of those matches are well worth the rewatch, and for most people, it will be the first time as well. So yeah,
That's true. And Scoop is doing a good job at selecting which matches are shown.
Yeah.
I think.
It's like he has absolute knowledge about CDM.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that leads us nicely into the next piece of news.
Indeed.
I don't actually know the specifics. This was Paul?
Yes.
Right. So our former guest and CDM extraordinaire, about to say, Scoob, Julien Holmier, or however that name is pronounced, set a new tied world record, so no untied hype, sadly, for the Ghost Valley 3 fast lap.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
68.
Yep.
68.
Yeah, and
he was really surprised too because he thought the lap was about a 70 or 71, and he got that victory cam, and yeah, 68 showed up on the screen.
I've seen it, and it seems like a very solid lap to me. I mean, maybe there's a couple of hundreds, like 2 in the last corner, but he does not seem content. He's going to go for the 67.
Yeah, he said his work is not finished.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
Right.
And this is part of the bounty thing because that's one of the records that doesn't have a video.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's very important that he wants to beat it. So it appears on the world record video page.
Yeah. Did you see the flap, Carol?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I was really impressed. I didn't think there was much wrong, except maybe indeed the last corner, but that's about it.
I talked to Scoop about it. He said the part between the hairpin and the right corner
Uh-huh.
I can't believe there's much to many hundreds to get there, but he would know, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see what he gets eventually.
Yeah. Anything else in the SMK world?
I think that about sums it up.
This has been the first week of the Karthritis blindfold challenge.
True.
I really
I
enjoyed
tried it.
Yeah, I think most of us
I tried.
tried.
Yeah.
I didn't get. My best time was 42 seconds. How are you guys getting such good times?
Sheer luck. That I don't even know how I got what I got. So that was
That was a hilarious video, by the way. You're
Yeah.
I was probably laughing, man. Like just you actually going straight through those two pipes.
Dude, yeah, it looks so shady. It looks like I was cheating the entire time. There's no way I would do that in real life. Like, I don't understand. Like, if my eyes are open, I wouldn't do what I did. And yeah,
That was just so good. Loved it. It was just your reaction when you saw it.
yeah, I was like
Brilliant.
16. What the fuck? I was super shocked.
Yeah.
And Grafit threads.
Yeah, I mean, maybe my blindfold wasn't nearly as non-translucent as I wanted it to be.
He's using cling film or saran wrap as a blindfold.
I just turn my back on the screen. That
Yeah.
works every time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I turned around and I just closed my eyes, and I was looking at Vanessa. I was like, "Hey, what was my time?" And she's like, "I don't fucking know."
Weirdo. Nice.
So, any inside information on people's guesses?
I haven't seen anybody else's runs, to be honest. Have they been sending them to you?
I've seen a few, and I've done a few myself. But yeah, I've seen a lot of guesses that seem very wrong in light of your time, Joe.
Okay.
Oh.
People guessing.
Maybe I shouldn't have said what the second was. Maybe I should edit that part out too. I'll just bleep it.
The deadline is right now or something, right? Or
It's in like 3 hours, 4 hours.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's all good. All right.
the episode won't be up until then.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be much later.
So my prediction was 1550, but yeah, Sargoth, of course, parked it in between that and your time. So
Yeah. Well,
that's
that
clever.
was not a result of your guess, Carol.
Oh, okay.
That's a result of me trying many times to play my strategy well with looking, and it seems like I should be able to get a high 15.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think Joe's time's going to get beaten.
I
Might not
would
be, no.
be surprised if it did, but I wouldn't be all that surprised because I was using Yoshi A. B. I hit the wall twice, which, I mean, that's to be expected with the blindfolded run, right? Like you're not going to have a perfect lap. So to be in the 15s, I thought you guys were guessing some really low times, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get anywhere close to that.
I'm just for the record, I'm going to be trying to get Patrick on this for like an hour. So because he is like good at blindfold stuff. So let's see what he gets.
Yeah, I gotta say my strategy is entirely based on audio cues from the music. Until I hear sand, then I have to improvise.
Yeah,
That is such a good idea.
yeah.
Why didn't I think of that? I'm just trying to do it just
Without
thinking,
sound?
all right, the corner might be about it.
My only strategy going in was hold left at the zoom start, and then I would immediately release it once I heard a skid.
Perfect. Yes,
And
exactly.
the skid, I knew I was going to go straight on the patch, and then I just kind of guessed when to jump turn, and I guess I guessed right because I avoided all those pipes, which would have been a nightmare. But yeah, I did a pretty good lap, and I don't think I'm going to try to beat it. I don't think I have any incentive to do so.
I would be done at 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
One more SNES thing. There was a couple of new Donkey Kong Country records the last week.
Really?
Yeah. Both the any percent and the all levels got beaten actually.
And this,
So
this
there's
is
a Japanese player.
DKC1, right?
Yeah, DKC1 exactly. And actually the DKC2 champ Void came close to the all levels world record on DKC1, like within half a minute. So but then of course the what I consider the best runner of Donkey Kong Country, Eason, improve the world record, but he didn't even tweet about it because he's going for the sub. Gotta go for the sub.
Arbitrary.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, the 80% world record got beaten by a Japanese player, so that was also quite interesting. And Ryu 8060. Maybe it's the same thing as the favorite numbers that
Oh yeah.
Abney did. Yeah. So he got 8 minutes 4 seconds, which is a couple of tenths faster than the all-time. So interesting stuff there. Definitely one of my favorite games of all time, Donkey Kong Country.
Yep. Agreed. It's platforming beauty.
Sure is.
And were there any new strategies in these world records? Because there was DKC2 world record like the week before, and now DKC. So what's all this resurgence?
Yeah, so I believe for Eason the strategies were new. Like he hadn't tried them yet. Like a couple of the new jump roll thingies that got added to the run, but I'm not sure how new they are. I'm not enough in the know to really comment on that.
Actually, I think I heard something about a new wrong warp being discovered, but I cannot.
In DKC1 as well?
I want to say yes, but I'm not certain of this. I have to look into
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Has the game been active in the past couple of years, or is it just kind of like a revival of sorts?
I think there's been people playing, but it's sort of on and off when stuff gets discovered and everyone's back for a while, and yeah, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It goes in waves. It's not inactive for an entire year or anything, but it's the activity comes in waves.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
It is a fun game to speedrun, though. Maybe not at the highest level, like sort of nothing is, but I enjoy.
How long is the run? Do you know?
It's slightly upwards of 30 minutes, so that's a perfect length for a speedrun if you ask me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
fantastic.
So the all levels is really, really cool to watch. The sort of sad thing about it is that you gotta nail a couple of one-framers in the final part of the run to get the jump roll thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that would really piss me off, probably.
You do 30 minutes of great inputs, and then all of a sudden your run is ruined.
Missed the frame. Bye-bye.
1 in 60 chance.
Yep.
Yeah, well, a lot of the speedrunning at that level is practicing those tricks off stream with save states, and yeah, it's not as fun as it looks.
There's a lot of work that goes into speedruns.
Yeah. All right, on to the next console. So we're gonna have an interview with Patrick Wessels.
I'm here, just munching. So to save you guys for some, I don't know.
It's okay. We've had Clark pissing on stream before,
Yeah.
so.
Oh,
And we almost had it just now again. So yeah,
well,
resurgence.
I'm being a lot more polite these days.
sorry to say, I'm not going to surpass that kind of grotesque, but eating schnitzel and rice and veggies, yeah.
This is the perfect time to start the interview, then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
Pro strats.
We could go for some other news first.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, you had the news about the Speedrunners League. I'm curious about that, actually.
So let's do the non-stop speedrunning first.
Sure.
What is the speedrunning league?
I'm getting to
What's
it,
that
Clark.
then? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is called a teaser.
Yeah.
Oh.
So recently discovered by the Japanese, there's something called non-stop speedrunning. I'm mixing my facts here. And it's apparently very, very difficult to pull off.
But KVD did them perfectly.
Not in Mario 64.
Yeah, so this is mostly related to Super Mario 64 speedrunning. Someone found or made, whichever, Game Shark code that removes all, I don't know, I want to call them cutscenes, but that's not really what they are. Waiting scenes, like the castle entrance or the transitions in levels where you have to exit, pick a new star, enter the level. All of that stuff is taken out with this one code. And the speedrunning community is or the Super Mario 64 community is embracing this somewhat, and some of the top runners are using this now. So we're getting 120 star times. I'm gonna say close to the hour pretty soon. I think
Yeah,
Man, that's cool.
the record now
looks
is
like
109 something, but it's pretty sloppy compared to the 139 normal world record.
I can
And
see why
and
they'd be embracing it though.
does it mean that you still exit the level and you have to re-enter for the next star?
No.
Just cut all animation. Just you get the star and you stay in the level.
Well, you have to
Yep.
re-enter for some stars where, because some stars you pick, the level actually changes.
Yeah, true. But what I mean is, if you grab a star, the game actually drops you out and you have to re-enter for the
No,
next.
you don't have to do
So you
that.
actually stay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's like a next star right next to it, then like, I can just grab that as well.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
that's
pick. You can
actually
pick up.
super awesome.
You can pick up 5 stars and then exit for the on average 1 star where you have to pick a different one. Like bosses, after you kill them, there's usually a new star. Like the Twomp Fortress is an example, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah, you still have to exit stages like once or twice, but it's so much more smooth, and it's also very, as the title says, non-stop. So you're always executing. There's no break.
And
Can I
this is
say
done
something?
through a ROM hack. I'm sorry, Clark, but this is just
That's all right, man. No worries.
a ROM hack of sorts.
No, just Game Shark or EverDrive, whichever.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
It's just a
No,
code
I
that
just-
prevents the transitions from loading.
Cool.
Clark?
Yeah, just to say, you know how at the start of the show, oh, excuse me, I have the hiccups. At the start of the show, you said, "What film haven't you seen?" Well, for me, what game I haven't played would be Super Mario 64. I never played it.
Wow.
All right.
No.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
just
big.
throwing that out.
So you're
I
gonna
think
have a
Sargoth
busy,
is trying so hard to not yell at you.
you're gonna have a busy evening tomorrow, Clark. Not only
Well,
Jaws
I've
2,
only
but you gotta play Mario 64, man.
and all the Sharknadoes.
Well, can
Yeah.
I just say one thing? Please skip Mario 64 and play Odyssey instead.
Ah, true. Yeah, for now. Yeah.
No,
I
play
played
Aiden.
Odyssey,
Play Aiden.
and here's my
Oh.
opinion of Odyssey. I assumed it. I thought it was a good game, but I didn't think it was the best Mario game I've ever played. And I preferred 3D Land, the one on the Wii U. I thought that was a much better game, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
You're crazy, Clark.
I don't know. I just prefer the like the platforming way. I don't like the open worldy side of it. But then again, if I'd have played Super Mario 64 at the time of release, maybe my opinion would be different.
Yeah, I really don't
Yeah,
think you're gonna
very
enjoy
likely.
it now.
Exactly. It's very clunky if you play it now.
Yeah, it's like I would never recommend Zelda Ocarina of Time today, because that game
Oh,
is
yeah.
paced like shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of running.
Yeah, and walking and waiting, and that's basically what the game is now. The exploration
Or-
is not fun anymore.
Or hopping backwards to go the fastest.
That's not for casuals, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Anyway, that's non-stop speedrunning, and
Yeah, but I was just gonna add to that, like, what would appeal to me most as if I was a Mario 64 runner is the fact that it's very conducive to new strategies because you have to link stars before that weren't actually part of the
exactly.
walking path. So I think that would really there's gonna be some developments there that
Yeah.
will be interesting to follow.
It's probably not routed properly yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there will be new tricks as a result of this, and yeah, it's more interesting to follow, I think. Anyway, this could be a thing in several games if people embrace it.
Yeah, it would be like maybe if you for Super Mario Kart, you would just if you finish a 5 lap, go straight to the next one.
That would
Somehow.
be awesome. I'd love to try that. Yeah.
That would lower the world record dramatically.
Oh yeah.
It'd be
Little
like
bit.
sub 20 minutes.
All right, and then something slightly related. There's a new Twitter account. Well, this is where I found it. Twitter account called Speedrunners League. It represents a website where they have bounty speedrun races.
Nice.
So I think the first one was last week, and it was Cheese 05 and one other guy did a I think it was a $200 race for SM64. So this is more of an audience sport or betting, whatever. But
Cool.
yeah, it is cool. Even though just the same as the non-stop speedrunning, this starts with Super Mario 64, but that's sort of to be expected, isn't it? It's sort of the most known speedrunning game, much
It's the
because
flagship of speedrunning,
yeah,
pretty
sort
much.
of Siglemic hashtag shout out.
It's a very good speedrun to watch still, I believe. It's one of the best ones to watch. For some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's definitely good. It's probably not my favorite, but it's
No, it isn't my one either. I like watching the ones which are about sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes long. They're like a nice amount to watch. I can't watch a game for an hour and a half. I was going to go watch Jaws 3.
you have the RVZ syndrome.
No, it's not quite as bad as RVZ. Like, I don't watch for 3 minutes and then turn off and say, oh, I need to watch that out. No, I can watch for half an hour. But
So, what's your favorite run to watch in terms of speedruns, Clark?
my favourite runs? I enjoy watching the Sonic the Hedgehog games. They're good to watch.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, anything platform related. I mean, I don't really have a I don't watch loads of them. I enjoy watching the SNK ones. You do. They're always good to watch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Not always fun to play, but yeah.
Platforms are probably. I think I prefer 2D platform speedruns to 3D.
Yeah.
Like Super Metroid is one of my absolute favorites.
Oh yeah, that's a
I've
classic.
watched a lot of Super Metroid ones. Yeah, that's a good one to watch as well.
You also really enjoyed watching Link to the Past, right, Sar?
Well, I sort of changed my stance on that, but yeah, I used to until I realized Crystal was a fraud.
Right, there's that.
That absolutely changed my entire. So the things she did, which I thought were absolutely stunning execution, was programming. So
Right, so she was like the Lance Armstrong of speedrunning.
yeah,
But worse.
sort of devalued the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine.
That is a big bummer when you find out that one of your favorite speedrunners has been a hack this entire time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's.
But we'll let somebody else cover that territory of exposing frauds.
Subliminal.
Stay true.
It's got to be mentioned at least once an episode, right?
Yeah. All right. I think that sums up those two small segments. So, are we ready for the interview with the Retro King?
Sextend.
Take your time, Prime.
There we go.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. I'm all set up.
Thankfully,
Let's go,
he
boys.
eats very
Let's go.
fast. I know this firsthand.
Yeah, I've experienced.
Right,
All right.
let's start the timer. Go.
Do you want to speedrun the interview?
No, just
It'd be very appropriate.
Sounds like Patrick.
All right. So, how would we introduce you, Patrick?
I really have no clue.
Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually the intro when I walk in a room of CDM. Legend, and I'm like, oh god.
You prefer God?
Not bad.
Yeah, I know it's a running thing from on CDM, but it used to be because I was playing tournaments since I was since 12 years old.
Yeah.
Keep
probably
on winning and being in the finals for so many times, magazines and crazy and stuff. Sorry.
These were the old
I
European
understand.
Nintendo tournaments, right?
Yeah, and in 2007, the first NLG.
Yep.
Sami was making T-shirts, and
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
has had was having titles. Like, I don't know what kind of title I want to pick. And then Sami actually came with the idea, well, you've been winning a lot of tournaments, so why don't we call you Tournament Legends as the title?
That's right.
And I was like,
Can I just
Actually a
step
good
in
idea.
here? Can I just step
And-
in here and say
Yeah.
how ridiculous some of Sami's t-shirts have been? Like, everyone has to be a champion of something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah, I had Watford champion on the back of mine.
Yeah.
I think Sean had Sean Billingsley one shot had Croydon champion. Like, who the fuck cares? Yeah, I don't know. That's just me.
yeah, true. He was fond of titles. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's where Tournament actually comes from, and that's where Legend comes from in CDM. So
That's fair enough.
Yeah. So how do you call me? I don't know. Pick a name.
Yeah, no,
I've heard so many things. I think Tournament Legend would be known to most.
well, it's Retro King for this episode's purpose. Anyway, the reason that T-shirt actually made sort of an impact because it was, for many of us at NLG 2007, it was our first meeting with you, or for some, the first time hearing about you. So here's this random guy, looks like Scooter, we know nothing about him, it says Tournament Legend.
Scooter wasn't there yet.
All right.
Not yet.
I just wanted to put
But-
that in there.
Yeah, the only person that actually knew me was Steven. That was also the first time I've met with Vincent van der Fluit
Mhm.
and Carol, which is now my roommate for since 2010.
You hit it off.
So yeah, and that's pretty much the first time I've met everyone else.
Yeah.
Steven said, "Oh, there's a European tournament going on in Norway." And I was like, "What the fuck want to go to Norway? It's cold there."
It wasn't.
Yeah, well, I take everything back from Norway as I did before. Norway is very, very nice. It's not cold at all, not even in winter. It's nice cold. Let's say it's nice cold.
All right.
Wow.
That's generous.
Yeah, well, I've been there in winter, Sargat, so
Yeah.
it's nice. It's nice.
When it's
But yeah, the first
32 below, it's cold.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
But you actually went to Norway like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times after that?
2007, 2008, winter 2008, 2009, 2010. Again in
12?
2010 for some random dancing event, whatever.
We'll cut
I
that
think in
part out.
2011 we skipped. 2012 was probably one of my last time in Norway. Yeah, that was my last time.
Except
that
for
was
last
last
year.
Random
NLG.
dancing event?
Let's skip
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, never mind.
You can't just gloss over that one. Come on.
Well, there was this rock and roll. I think the community is called NBU. I'm
Yeah.
not really sure what it stands for, but it's more like a group of people that wants to go to like this big piece of grass and put on some tents, play some music, share cultures per province in Norway. Like each province has their own subculture, and they like to share it, music,
Yeah.
food,
Yeah.
and
It's a music festival, basically.
yeah, it's really nice.
It's a Norwegian
Especially if they
hillbilly
know,
festival.
you're from Holland. Oh my God, you're from Holland. What are you doing here? Like blah 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 blah. The next stand, same questions.
And what were your answers?
Mostly like I like the country. I like the music, the atmosphere. The people is nice. Party hardy. Yeah, well, and camping is always nice. It's pretty cool.
All right.
I like camping.
I don't like camping.
It's short answers, but yeah.
But you
Those are
forgot,
pretty
you
much
forgot
what they
Patrick, you were here last year.
Oh yeah, of course. I was there in
We
2006.
were halfway up Norway's biggest mountain. Well,
Well,
more than
we
half.
More
were,
than
you
halfway.
were further. You guys were further.
Well, we were like 95% of where you were,
Yeah.
or something.
Oh my God, that was
Like we went 5 minutes further and then we returned.
There was
Because
a
we couldn't see
blizzard
shit
up
in
there,
it.
for fuck's sake.
There was a blizzard, yeah.
yeah. Well, the way back was quite adventurous, I'd say.
Actually, we're doing it again next year if you're interested.
Before the snow falls,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Yes. One sec, Yvonne. Next year, Marius wants to go up that same mountain.
Arranging
again.
this on the fly.
She's nodding.
All right. Make it happen.
Yep. We're in.
Awesome,
We're in.
yeah, I'm in for that. We also did a retro tournament of sorts, but
Yeah.
didn't really finish it, I believe. But it was still interesting.
I,
It
I
was.
think everybody. Yeah.
Yeah,
go
we
ahead,
were
Marius.
tired as all hell.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
tournament started off well and nice, but then it sort of fizzled out, and we just, relaxed with the casual gaming instead.
What was that game called? Carol loved.
What?
Probably
Yeah, it was
this
a game.
Um,
thing.
Disc Jam?
Yeah, the disc jam. Carol was
Holy shit.
not really chilling there.
A frustrating piece of shit.
It was fun at first, and then something happened.
Well, Carol kept trying to grab the disc behind it, and he was starting to rage, and then everybody was like, "Okay, let's do something else." But yeah, we played it a bit too long.
Yeah,
I think it's fun at first, but the mechanics didn't seem to work at higher level or something.
No, actually, I did check the tournaments for the game at the highest level, and it falls apart exactly like we predicted.
Yeah.
In what way?
Well,
It's a bit like
you cannot slide. If you slide, you lose. So all you do is walk and throw the instant return that gets the purple extra speed stuff.
Okay, and then hope.
And
You just hope
eventually, one of the players will have to slide, and then that breaks the chain of purples or instant returns, whatever it's called. And then you're on the
What game is
defense until you die.
this is Disc Jam, Clark.
What is this jam?
Have you heard of Windjammers on the SNES?
No.
Well, then that's not going to help. All right.
It's a
right.
PSP game.
No.
It's a bit like tennis.
Yeah.
In a way, but then
Mario
with a
Tennis.
disc.
Right.
All right, I
Oh,
think that's your
got it.
introduction, Patrick. Norway, dancing, and gaming. Okay.
That sums up.
All right. So we're kind of here to talk about your recent endeavors in gaming, which includes
Aiden.
Aiden. Yeah.
Let's just start with Aiden. Come on.
Well, it was the 10th game. If
Was
I
it
jump into it, Marius.
But no, just talk a little bit about what you're doing and yeah. When did you start and what are you doing?
Well, for a long time, I've been playing a game called League of Legends, and it just died out for me. And I was looking for a new challenge, and I've been playing numerous games, and they just didn't make it. There was another game in the making, was almost done, and it just got cancelled. And I was like, "Oh, come on!" And then all of a sudden, I saw some news article at work that TMR finished every single NES game, the old 8-bit console, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Damn, that's a great idea."
Shout outs to TMR.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was a great endeavor. Almost, I think, 713 games or 31 games.
Yeah,
There was-
all the
there was,
official licensed Nintendo games. Yeah.
It was like bit for like 3 years, and I was like, "Hey, that's actually a cool challenge." So I was look up the Super Nintendo, but somebody was already like pretty halfway, and I moved on to the N64, and yeah, nobody was really attempting that. So I was like, "Okay, what do I need?" And I gathered some stuff. I set things up. I make a start date, which was the day after my birthday, March the 30th, 2017, and yeah, go time. Play game 1, play game 2, play game 10. Aiden.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Where
talking
it all
about.
come from?
The legend.
I think it was recommended by someone. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
Oh, you knew about that game beforehand?
I did not know anything about that game.
The Saga bit. Yeah.
Well, what I did
Yeah.
was there was a list and all the viewers could vote on games just for the order at the start. And I checked up on some games, and Aiden happens to be very high up in the alphabet of the list. So I looked into it, and it looked like a pain in the ass, and the average finishing time was very high. So I voted for that game, and then I started looking for speedruns or people who have played it, which introducing Gato Van Der, which was a guy I found on Twitter who actually speedruns the game. So he was in the chat for most of Patrick's demise during the Aiden portion.
Mildly cold.
Actually, like he was already 15 hours in, and I was perplexed, like how bad the game was, and I was even more perplexed that when we found out there was actually a guy speedrunning this, like voluntarily.
Yeah.
Like what the hell?
This guy knew everything about the game, even that an item is used to beat the boss that dropped it. What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There is a boss called, let's say, boss X, drops his pendant, and the pendant is used to kill him in one shot. Right. That's like what we Dutchie called mosterd naar de maaltijd.
Perfect for our Dutch viewers. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Our
I
many
was
Dutch viewers.
I was
Can we
enjoying
have a
that game.
translation?
Mustard after the meal. So
Oh.
you're done with the meal, and then you get like the
All
mustard.
right.
Oh, right, yeah, makes sense.
That sounds okay.
Yeah, but I've been enjoying that game for the whole 3 minutes.
That just leaves 37 hours.
44 more hours, yeah.
Yeah, the startup and picking a name, which was Sargoth. I called the character
Yeah.
Sargoth.
Yeah. I
And
am
that's when
immortalized.
shit started. Oh yeah.
Dare I say that is the worst use of your name in the history of the universe, probably.
Perhaps.
That character got abused. I dig the sneaking though that you did.
Oh, the sneaky animation.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Oh yeah, link it, boys.
I gotta say, the end of the game, like the last maybe 5 hours, they looked very good, and there was sort of a something resembling a finished product at that point.
The game was worse at the start for sure.
Yeah.
That's what was my impression as well.
It took
I
me
like how
4
the
hours.
end of the game is 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a slow burn, let's call it that.
So how long did it take you, Patrick, to get to the first village? This is
I
an
was about to
RPG.
say about 4.5 hours. I was perplexed, like, where am I running to? Where's the next town? Where's the next building or people? No, it's just a bear that you have to slaughter for the next 20 minutes because you kept missing enemies. Oh my days. Yeah,
so-
that's to be exact here, the longest game is 44 hours, 6 minutes, and 5 seconds.
And that was Aiden, right?
So, what was actually the best game that you encountered during the challenge? Do you feel?
Ooh, well, I'm kind of in dubio here because I actually recently finished Indiana Jones, which game content-wise was stunning.
Oh, I'm surprised.
The puzzles are very genuine. The atmosphere was amazing. The sound was amazing, but graphic-wise, it glitches a lot. Like a lot, it crashes at random points. Certain mechanism in games that just cease to work, and you can't finish a level. You can soft lock your game, and in worst case, you have to actually replay everything. But besides the bugs, I think Indiana Jones is probably one of the best games.
Wow.
Alongside with Banjo-Tooie, which took an exceptionally amount more time than I was expecting it. But yeah, Banjo-Tooie, shoutouts to Rare that they made like an awesome sequel.
Yeah,
And-
the Banjo games are really good.
Sorry?
The Banjo games are really, really good.
The sounds and everything, it was nice. And for 26 hours, I was enjoying myself. And from all the games I've been playing on the N64, I think those 26 hours were used with the fewest amount of frustration.
Because obviously you already knew quite a few, like GoldenEye and stuff. So those you already knew were good.
I think I finished about 50 before I started the challenge, and I've heard about a couple 50 before I start playing them, and the rest were just completely unknown to me.
And
Like
would you say
Star Soldier, Vanishing Earth, never heard of. Space Invaders. Well, I know about the game.
come
but
again? Star Soldier
Space-
Vanishing Earth?
Yeah, Star Soldier, Vanishing Earth. It's a 2D shooter.
Of course.
Right.
Sounds like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Yeah. Sounds like a C movie, indeed.
Yeah.
So Patrick, are you going to be the first person who's done this, as far as we know?
As far as I know, and I've been trying to figure it out if there's anybody else, but couldn't find anybody, and I will be the first person to finish all N64 games.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I'm surprised more people haven't picked up on it. I maybe
Well,
wonder if they will.
I'm gonna tell you what happens, Clark. The people start and they try to do them alphabetically, and then Aiden's like the 6th game.
No, stop.
Exactly. There were a
Motivation.
few people that started the attempt. They were actually trying to race each game with each other, but I think they stopped after game 17, and they just stopped. And actually, I had about 80 games remaining, and then there was a guy who was doing the same challenge as I did, and did it in order of release. So
Oh,
as you may know, that Wave Race was one of the first games on the N64, and Elo loves that game. So this guy was streaming Wave Race, and Elo got a message like, "Yo, somebody's streaming Wave Race." So he checked out his channel and saw that this guy, the guy's called the Dark Horse, and he was attempting the exact same thing as I do, except he did not know about me. So Elu said, "Yo, there's another guy, MeridianPrime, also is pretty much done with the challenge. So check out his channel." So ever since then, I've been checking him out, and he has done so far 28 games.
Oh wait, this is happening now?
Oh, this has been happening a couple months. He's just taking it slow.
Right.
Like every week, he plays like one game.
Wow. I was gonna say if I heard about someone almost being finished or that much ahead, I would probably be demotivated to the point of just dropping it altogether.
Oh yeah.
I think he might be. He was
Yeah,
really
it-
into it, and he was. I think he is sort of demotivated.
So thanks to
But
Illu, he crushed his soul.
Wow.
So when
Yeah.
when are you aiming to be finished by?
Well, I actually marked down my last 13, 14 games. I'm actually busy now with Wipeout. And
Right.
then I have 13 games remaining. And the last one, August 18th, 2018, on Saturday, the day after CDM.
Nice, that sounds good to me.
I'm going to be playing it at the venue itself, so nobody's going to miss it.
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna
by the
come
way.
start whispering in your ear.
No,
Nothing.
no, Clark, no. You're going to sit down and play along with me, because it's Mario
Oh.
64.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
We're going to sit next to each other, and we're going to play this game.
Oh yeah.
With Jaws 2 on in the background.
Oh, Mo's going to love this one.
You're gonna pop his cherry on stream?
Yeah, why not?
Something I look forward
Ouch.
to.
So there was another mandatory question, Patrick. You answered the best game, and you omitted Space Station Silicon Valley.
I did. Yep.
I gotta say that was
Yes, it's
one
one-
of my favorites. But then again, having played Super Mario Odyssey, it just does everything that game did and better. But I was impressed with the Silicon Valley. Or
Yep.
whatever.
Actually, in the very beginning, I wrote down comments after I completed the games.
Yeah.
My comment on Space Station Silicon Valley was very fun game. Much variations in variance in humor and everything. Animals, dialogues, missions. Very laid back, but still challenging game at some points.
So it was sort of like Super Mario Odyssey, where you can control different beings or beasts or whatever. But it
Yeah.
was more of a puzzle game than anything else.
Yeah, it's like Mario Odyssey. The main star is, of course, Mario and this head. And in this game, you're like this microchip that jumps into animals, and you become the animal.
That makes sense.
And yeah, it's awesome. I think there are like about 10 or 20 different animals that you can control. So you can imagine the variance the game has to offer.
Yeah, it was really cool. But the next, well, this question actually was, which was the worst game?
You want me to answer that?
Cruisin' Exotica or Cool Borders 2?
Okay, let's not mention Aiden. Okay,
Well,
it's
why
the
would you?
game itself is just exactly. Why would I? My worst game. Whew.
It's gotta be a sports game, probably.
Yeah, one of the sports games. Honestly, I think I rather want to play Aiden again than one of those wrestling games. That took me literally. Oh wait, one sec. Well, this is gonna be fun. Where did I did them all back to back, and there was one wrestling game. There you have it. Took me 12 and a half hours, and the first one was 11 and a half. And I remember at some point I was just beating up guys, and oh, you win. Sometimes you lose. Next match, and all of a sudden, start screen. Like what? Literally after 57 matches, the game just goes to your start screen.
Huh?
Do you remember which game that was? Because I kind of happen to be an expert on the N64 wrestling games.
I was gonna say
WWF Wrestling Mania 2000 probably.
Oh yeah, that one's notorious for being extremely difficult in the championship mode.
I mean, I won the last match, and boom, start menu options. Like what? No, nothing. What the fuck did I miss? Okay, I think I went through the complete loop, but yeah, that was down after 12.5 hours just to figure out you got nothing. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the fishing game, the Bass Hunter 64.
Oh shit.
Oh dear.
There were 5 different videos, and I've been watching a couple of them back, and yeah, I was just a couple times.
Imagine the game being so bad that you get mentioned before Superman 64 or
Yeah.
Carmageddon 64.
No, Superman 64 isn't all that bad as they say.
That is true, actually.
Right.
No.
Speaking
People
of
say- Well, they
I'm
say
sorry.
that it's bad because you actually have to go through the rings to finish
But
the
you
game.
don't.
You have to. You have easy, you have normal, and you have Superman. On Superman mode, you have to fly through rings, mandatory rings, through like the first 10 missions, and then you get they're like seven missions. The first 5 is flying rings. Mission 6 is super short, and then you have mission 7 that's like the last one. The thing is, you only can play mission 7 if you play on Superman mode, which is true, but you can unlock mission 7 by playing on normal, and then switch your difficulty to Superman, and ta-da, mission 7 is unlocked. Unless you have access to it. So the first 5 missions, I was just playing on easy, no rings whatsoever. Then I switched to normal for mission 6, and Superman for mission 7. So no rings at all for me.
that's just being smart then.
I guess.
You missed out.
So along those same veins, I'm sorry, but so for the Superman 64, I was gonna bring this up, and it's a nice segue. Of the games that you played, how many of them were like just really broken and just poorly made and poorly designed and just not really worth anybody's time?
Sadly to say, I think over 50%.
Jeez.
Well,
Like there are like so many things. I'm not talking about graphic things. I mean, back in the days, 3D games, N64 was one of the best consoles, graphic-wise even. But
For games that were done right, yeah.
yeah, but 3D games was like a new thing back in the day. So they were all like developing, learning from a new platform, a new way of introducing games. So bugs are like meant to be at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were just also games where where it has nothing to do with 3D, which is like purely solely to do with you were not thinking of how you want to take care of your game. Like for instance, Aiden. It has too much, and it has nothing to do with 3D. It has too much that just doesn't resemble a game. The extreme slow pace, the lack of logical content, like the game itself, it's called the first mage.
Oh, yeah.
I think fire and ice are the only spells in the game being done by a wizard that dies after the first mission you play with him. There are no healers in the whole game. You can't heal another target, only yourself. I don't know. And you have like, and you have like the knight, the defender of your kingdom, misses a dog for 17 times. Like, how are you defending your castle if you miss your target 17 times? It misses something, and that's beyond 3D. That's broken. That's broken. So based on those kind of criteria, not counting graphics, I think sadly to say more than 50% are just not worth the buck.
Yeah.
But isn't
No,
it the same for any console though? Because like if you look at any of the modern consoles, there are a lot of shit games, a lot of shovelware. Is that not just the case?
I feel a
with
bit
N64?
different about N64, Clark, because the 3D thing was such a new, grandiose thing
Yeah.
that everyone wanted on it, and they didn't really have any
Yep.
good idea at the bottom of it. So there's just so many bland, poorly done 3D games.
Exactly what Mars is saying. So many companies wanted to jump on the boat because the 3D want to make some big names, and they just jump into like the 3D world they had no clue on. Stick to 2D. Like the NES game, sure, it has bad titles, bad programming, but like I think about 80% were just good. For what the console could offer, the games were good. But the N64, I've seen games that were like, wow, they are still up to par today. Like Banjo-Tooie, nothing was wrong with the game. Almost completely perfectly executed.
That's rare for you, though, isn't it? They made good games.
Exactly. But that's the whole point. So many developers were just jumping on the 3D platform, making games. Nintendo, please release my game. Allow it, license it, and ta-da! Aiden. Sorry,
but
it just sums up everything.
Even beyond the 3D blandness of the whole console, there are just a lot of, I don't know, mediocre at best sports games as well.
I have someone called Ilu saying that sports games aren't actually games. He actually mentioned
They
it.
kind of aren't.
Don't consider sports games as video games, like literally a game. It's a simulation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, you can't go say I'm going to complete FIFA 17, can you? You can't really complete it. You just play it, right?
You play a season or something, but yeah, it's not really beating the game.
Actually,
a season, a playoff, finals.
The last 3 FIFA games have had story modes, but otherwise your points are valid.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I haven't played a recent FIFA, but
yeah, neither have I. But I work someplace where I have to endure FIFA. All right.
Well, with the sports games, I had a wonderful co-partner, Carol, who actually helped me with every single football game.
Football games, yeah.
Soccer game.
Yeah, but International Superstar Soccer on the both the SNES and the 64 were great fun.
Absolutely.
It was on the PS1 as well. That was a great game on the PS1.
FIFA games, not so much.
No.
Didn't we play that International Superstar Soccer with Wouter as well?
Yeah. ISS 2000, we did 3-way co-op. It was a lot of fun.
Those games are just fun, but FIFA games are more like serious, and there's no fun to be had for me at least.
I remember on PES 3, there was a mode you could unlock called Double Speed, and it was the funniest thing I've ever done. Playing a football game, it's like Benny Hill just like running around. Utterly amazing. It was so good. Recommend playing that one.
But yeah, unless you love the sport itself, I don't really think that the sports games are considered games or worth your bucks for it.
I agree.
There's a lot of hockey and basketball, right?
Basketball, American football.
Oh yeah, NFL, NHL quarterback, stuff like that.
Yep. NBA Jam was a great game. Come on, man. That
well,
was a great
some
game.
of the NBA jams are good or fun at least.
Fun. Let's stick it there. Well, there was like a nice trick, and I used it for like half the basketball games. So they weren't as bad as I thought they would be because of this trick. And gladly I rushed through them, and I could start off with A Buck's Life, which was one of the first games after the sports streak.
So I got a question for you, Patrick. Now you've been streaming N64 games for over 1,300 hours, completing over 300 games. What are you taking away from this experience?
Whew.
Silence.
It speaks volumes.
Actually, a good call. I mean, it's fun to actually know an entire console. You literally can see the good and the bad from video gaming. Like if I would pick like the Super Nintendo or the NES, I would come to the same conclusion. You see the good part, the bad part, and to pick a game, don't just look at the title, don't look at the genre or a few pictures at the back of the cover. Do really good research if you want to buy a game. Is this game truly meant for me? And I think after being playing like every single N64 game, if I were to spend my own allowance, Carol, and buy a game, do research.
Do you mean avoid Aiden?
Well, unless you called Vato, I think you
Oh, is this
should avoid it with the circle of Jupiter.
is this the throwback to the previous episode where Carol revealed what he used his allowance to buy?
I think so. But yeah.
Mario is missing.
I want to see you speedrun that on Twitch, Carol.
Ouch. Yeah, the French version.
Yeah.
Of course, the only one.
So, but Patrick, would you say you became a better gamer from this experience? You were already very highly ranked, like in terms of general gaming skill, but
Before I started, I played some random games where I was like, this sounds interesting. One of them was Mega Man 64. Everybody knows Mega Man. It's an awesome franchise. So I was like, I want to know how it looks like in 3D. So I played it and I was like, what the hell? This controls? Why would you select the Z button, R button to move? And I don't know. I was like, shit, Mega Man is going to be quite a pain in the ass. And eventually, Mega Man was the next one, and I had no troubles whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. I actually liked the game. Honestly, I actually enjoyed the game because I just ignored which button does what, and I guess, well, after like 1,000 hours of N64, I kind of get my way around the controls. And Mega Man isn't all that bad as it was before I started this challenge. So I think I've become a better player, more all-round, because I just played so many games.
yeah, you have to endure games like Glover with really shitty controls.
No, but I'm seriously, Carol. I think if I would play Glover right now, it would not be as terrible as it was in the beginning.
Probably true. Yeah, I believe you.
And that's solely only because the controls were bad, but after we've been playing like 300 games with half of them bad controls, you kind of get around it.
There's a lot of that on the N64, right?
Yeah, just a lot of just not complete.
Yeah.
Can I give an honorable mention to Iggy's Wrecking Balls? oh my.
I would never even retry to attempt this.
Oh my.
Oh wow, yeah.
We played that game with Lafango. Well, you tell the story, Patrick.
Well, some of these games, they have co-op mode. You can finish the game with more players at the same time. So Iggy was one of them. At least Michael Jonkerius mentioned it. It's like, oh, you can actually play with more than one player. Okay, I marked it as co-op. At one weekend, we were playing all games marked as co-op game, and Iggy was one of them. So I was like, come on, guys. Wouter was here, Fungo was here. Let's play Iggy Wrecking Balls with 4 players, because we can finish it. The more souls, the merrier, right? Wow.
No, not really.
It got down sour so fast. Like those that know Lafungo is like a nice guy, young guy, like very gentle. Give him Iggy Wrecking Ball, and he's a monster. He turns out in fucking Godzilla playing that game. Get on the fucking platform, you piece of shit!
You raged like hell.
Wait, remind me, this is the game where you sort of speedrun some funky platforms, right?
Yeah. It's you're a ball and you just jump on platforms. You can grab ledges. You have weapons. You have ventilators that just tosses you around. You have like cannonballs, jumpers, trampolines, and everything.
Yeah, this game looks like fun.
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
It looks fun, but the mechanic of the pulling yourself up with your tongue or whatever it is.
What's that game called we play, Marius? The Doritos.
A Doritos Crash Course, yes, brilliant game.
This is the worst possible version.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
Like you jump and no, you grab no, then 4 players on one screen. Oh, and weapons. And,
And
a lag.
weapons.
And a less graphic.
Including weapons that will auto-hit, like a lightning. Like you're completely powerless to do anything, and then you get knocked off into the oblivion.
Yeah, the
Out of
best
nowhere.
catch-up mechanic
Oh.
ever invented.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fun game on paper. Worse executed, I guess.
All right.
Were there any games that were kind of are there any obscure games that people probably wouldn't know about that kind of surprised you at how good they were?
Yeah. I think one of the Castlevanias, they're not really that well spoken of, but they were good.
They're very
really, really good.
overlooked, the N64 Castlevanias.
I think, well, Miss Gondinja is pretty well known. But I think Miss Pac-Man, Maze Madness, don't hear anything about it, but it's a good game. There are a lot of games so underrated that deserved way more.
Yeah, like what kind of games that probably nobody's ever heard of that you played all the way through that you liked a lot?
I think Body Harvest, because that's the perfect example for my case. I thought Body Harvest was a bad game, but it's actually easily in the top 10 games of the entire N64 library.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, I'll after I'm done, I'm probably gonna make a couple lists. One of them is like most underrated games that deserved way more. Best bang for your buck games. Avoid at all costs game. Aiden. Aiden's gonna be on every list, Marius.
Yes.
It deserves its rightly placed in history.
But yeah, there's just so many summary you can make of this list after you've done all. And then you can genuinely say, this is the top 10 or something. Sure, it's my opinion.
Can I just say that... Oh, sorry.
No. I mean, Joe would probably say that one of the wrestling games is pretty good because he likes it.
But it depends on, yeah, because if it's for a speed run or like just completing the game, I probably would leave it off the list entirely. But for replayability, yeah, I grew up with the game, so I like them a lot. But I wouldn't really consider them like top 10 for conventional gaming, I'd say.
It wouldn't be in top 10 in any list except the do not buy list.
Unless you're into that kind of thing.
The top 10 do not buy list is heavily contended, isn't it?
The top 5 are all Aiden.
No. They're like 50% of them. They're all tied bottom.
The top 10 do not buy list is 150 games.
Anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of this list, and I did enjoy when you did write-ups of the games earlier on. When you finished one, you said some words. But...
Exactly, I stopped doing that because...
Yeah, it makes sense.
Sadly, though, because it was fun, but most of the times it was like, meh game, meh, fun, just not complete, meh. And it turns out to be worse and worse after that, so yeah, copy-paste. Carol, you all had a question?
No, also more of a remark, really. I think we as Karthritis cast are going to lobby our asses off to get a rerun of Aiden.
Yes.
After your challenge.
Well, you know the requirement.
I do.
I don't want to be picky or anything, and I'm not doing this for the money. But it's just it's honestly when I started this challenge, I was hoping that I would be like fully partnered and go to events and have a lot of subscribers and donations. But it's even though it didn't work out that way, I'm not sad about it at all. But if I do gonna get Aiden a rerun, I think I'm entitled for some incentive.
Oh yeah,
sure.
I think Isa will jump on that as well.
Oh yeah.
He was loving every single quote and rage.
He's Aiden's biggest fan.
That's Pete, right? Pete the dog?
Maybe. He's the community president, but Isa is one of the most, let's say, enthusiastic about spreading the faith.
He's a missionary.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior?
Yeah.
First mage. Yeah, I think Aiden will never, ever leave us.
Did I tell you, Patrick, I have a Raspberry Pi? Do you know what it is?
Raspberry Pi? I guess, yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah, you eat it.
no, it's a mini computer the size of a credit card or something. And I've programmed mine for emulation, whatever.
Hmm.
The first game I tested for the N64 emulator was, of course, Aiden. Uh, and the game doesn't emulate well, so it was a more buggy version of Aiden.
Oh Jesus
I-
Christ!
You want me to finish that?
I gave it like an hour, but it was extremely painful. And I gotta say, the absolute worst part was the battle mode or the battles themselves, the encounters, because you start off so far away from the enemy that the actual battle is like on turn 4 of the battle. The first 3
Yeah.
turns are just you walking forward, enemy walking forward,
Yes.
until you're
Yes.
finally within range to actually attack each other.
That's the same as the N64 version.
Well, yeah, but this had flickering graphics as well because it was.
Oh gosh. Well, at least it's more graphically appealing, I guess.
Uh, in a way. But I gotta say, I don't think any form of incentive or motivation would make me play that game. So yeah, I will make sure to throw my money your way if you decide to make it happen towards the end.
Not on the Raspberry,
No, no, no,
but yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
no, it's gonna happen.
So
There were quite some games I actually would very much like to replay, either a remastered version or just this one again. But some games like Indiana Jones, there's a remastered version on the PC. I would definitely going to play that again because the bugs are gone, the glitches are gone, and the game is the same. So it's really good fun.
Yeah, that's also a list I'm looking forward to. The games you would actually play again.
Well, honestly, Ilu mentioned an idea last time when they were asking like, "What are you going to do when you're done with this?"
Yep.
And besides the point, I have some things in mind to do
Full
when I'm
time
done.
Aiden speedrunning.
Yeah, for instance.
Yeah.
But there's, at one point I was like, I actually, and don't comment directly, but I actually want to do the N64 challenge again. But then you come to a few stages. Like,
Huh?
you have to do freaking all those sports games again. All right, let's skip the sports games. Yeah, but then also skip the bad games. All right, let's just play the top 64 games. Or, like, and then you make, like, weird lists. And then we're like, okay, just play the games that you like to do.
So we're just gonna play
And-
Goldeneye.
For instance. But I try, at the end, let's say I do it like 1,500 hours, the entire challenge.
Mhm.
I try to get that 1,500 hours as low as possible. I just pick a game, drill it down, complete it as fast as possible, pick a next until that total timer is sub 500.
You're gonna do a segmented speedrun of N64.
Well, it's actually just a rerun, just not pick the bad games. I mean, why would I attempt to play a sport game of 3 hours and make it 2.5 if I can play, let's say, Turok Seeds of Evil, which is 26 hours, and drill it down to 10?
So basically, what you're saying here is, in a month from now, you're gonna look back and say, I spent 1,500 hours of this. I bet I could go sub 1,000.
Yeah, but instead of doing the whole run, I just play the games that I really like, and just use the same timers as I had the first time on the bad games.
That's
Just try to see how low I can get that time for all the games.
I think the reason nobody's exclaiming anything right now or shouting that is so crazy. I'm worried.
You've lost the plot, you mean?
Yeah. All right. That's.
I think a top 64 wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest. That'd
Exactly.
be kind of fun. Yeah.
yeah, if you're just gonna play the good games, you're gonna enjoy yourself. Why not?
And there's 64 games you'd want to play over again too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a list of
So-
that too.
There was talk about, like, I'm gonna segue into it. It's sort of a different topic here, but it's about what comes after N64 ever.
Yep.
There's talk about a big elite gathering of GoldenEye players at the next HDQ event. I've heard through the grapevine that maybe Steven and you will be joining. Can you comment on that?
Oh,
Yeah, the topic was like, do you want to meet up at HGDQ or Virginia meet? And you and I were trying to get to the Virginia meet last time, but you went on a three-week trip with your family, so didn't really work out. And then I saw this topic, and I think HGDQ would actually be nice. And then of course,
always nice.
and then of course with the latest development of the Stephen Todd Rogers thing, I kind of nudged him like, "Yo, you want to do this?" And he was actually positive about it.
Well, we'll see that when it happens.
yeah.
But yeah,
I think there's another segue here, Carol.
sure. Segue ahead.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do it. Okay. On the topic of GoldenEye, Todd Rogers and such, there was recently like a test video released from Steven's advances towards Aztec stuff, which Stefan posted. Have you seen that, Patrick?
Well, I've been following the post, but not recently. So if it's posted like the past 1 or 2 weeks, probably missed it.
Yeah, it's this week.
Yeah.
Oh, I've missed it.
Okay. There's been, I mean, Goose posted in regards to it, and he said, here is Steven showing off how he did the trick back in the day. Didn't work this time, but Steven says this will work eventually. And that's sort of a very nice neutral response, but other guys have been very negative towards the video, saying that that's just bullshit. Because now the strat is shown, sort of.
Yeah, for starters, Ace does not believe it will ever work.
Right.
But there are more that are really doubting whether this will ever work. But from what I know about Steven, he's not crazy, so I'm still on the fence.
So Stephen is showing a video of a thread that worked for him, just not like consistently. And he said, okay, it didn't work on video, but keep doing this and it will work eventually.
No, he's gonna keep doing it. The video was just a test for, because he was filming with his phone or something. So it was just a test to see if it was good enough to watch, I think. So Steven's gonna keep doing it until it works out. But the elite people are now saying that's not going to work out. That's a bullshit strat, now that they see it.
Yeah, Carol said that even testers say that it cannot work out with 0% chance.
Allegedly, yeah.
I've seen guys doing weird shit on GoldenEye. Weird shit.
Yeah, the kind of thing, the discussion boils down to you cannot prove negative.
Right.
Like, you cannot prove something is absolutely and categorically impossible. But they just don't believe Steven can pull, or anyone can pull this thread off. I don't know. It's going to be interesting times ahead, or not.
So that even testers are trying to replicate it and it's not working?
Well, they aren't necessarily trying to replicate what Steven did, because that has never been fully explained.
Yeah.
Or understood. But
now there's a video of him like pretty much doing his proposed strategy, and now the testers are trying it.
No, I don't think they've tried that.
Okay.
No, but there's a guy called Vuda something.
Yeah.
And he did a very similar strat, which was unexplained to this day. I think that was also not done with TAS afterwards.
Is it not something along the lines of, what's that thing, that upwards jump in Super Mario 64, which has only happened once or something? No one could ever.
Oh yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah. Is it not something like that, maybe? He did that one fluke or something, and it's just never doable again?
I don't know.
The thing is, Steven claimed that he had a success rate of like a couple of times per 10 hours. I think he claimed something like 3 times per 10 hours or something. But I'm not sure if he... Yeah, but... Well, still, but that's not low enough to be a 1 in a million fluke.
I was gonna say the MK64 Weather Tenko is lower by far.
Yeah.
Unless you're back apnea.
Right. Well,
but yeah,
he spent some hours.
He spent the
just
hours.
some. Was it like 1,000 hours?
More.
Was it that much?
Really?
Yeah, I think
we-
it was around there.
I
Yeah.
thought it was in the hundreds,
Jeez.
but not. Wow.
It's crazy.
Boring. That's nowhere near Pierre's one when he did that 500 hours thing on Final Fantasy VII.
The,
where he
thou-
Oh,
the
yeah.
1,000 hours is
Backwards.
nowhere near the 500. Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean, in terms of like boringness.
Well, I gotta say, Carty did a lot of stuff that took that much time in Final Fantasy
That
VII.
guy was hilarious. I remember once I linked this game, some joke game about a marathon, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
just literally pressing A and B for as long as a marathon is. And like 2 days later, he's gone, "Oh yeah, I'll set this time on it."
Yeah.
Something crazy. Like he literally did it for an hour and a half, and
Yep.
then he goes, I think I can beat this," and then did it a few more times.
You know,
What game was this, Clark?
It was just this game. It was like a browser game a long time ago, just called Marathon, and it was just you know like on track and field on like the 100-meter dash.
Oh, you just
You
have to
press
press
A
A, B, A, B.
Yeah, but it was that for a marathon, like the distance of a marathon, like
Okay.
26.2 miles. Yeah, and he did it numerous times.
have you seen the counting video, Clark?
Yes.
The trois.
I have seen more of that than I care to admit. It's like
He actually did a 24 hours mouse mashing, like tapping the mouse
that too.
Also,
for 24
Yeah.
hours.
All right.
just to make cookies crumble, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This guy, he needed like a video made on him or something, didn't he? He just pure bananas.
I feel a goose video could be in the making here.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, have we got any other topics left?
No, that's it for my list. I don't know if we want to do anything else.
Okay.
So, can I just? It's a staple by now, but is there any breaking news from Clark's SNES?
Oh, here we go.
All right. Okay, so I've done a few complete run-throughs of the time trial tracks just to see how I'd fare overall. And it hasn't been too bad. I've got some horrendous times. Like, I think I got 1 minute 10 on Mario Circuit 1 at one point. But, like, that's just sort of just an outlier. They haven't all been that bad. Yeah, it's all going all right. I've been playing it a fair bit. It's nothing amazing. And I'm thinking, you know, I'm playing really well. And then you sort of gauge yourself against, like, sort of the past times, the past few years. And you realise, no, I'm not actually doing that well. I'm just doing as badly as I thought I was doing. But yeah, I did, like the biggest success was the last time I went through it today. Actually, I went through all 20 tracks and I didn't miss one zoom start, which is the only real success I think I could say about.
That's a claim to fame I can't make.
Yeah. So beyond that, breaking news is I'm all right. Not good. Yeah. So, business as usual.
Ah, happy to hear it. You're active.
Now the next step, I believe, would be to set up a stream so we can check you out on Twitch, right?
Yeah, but I have no idea how to do that, Joe. You know that.
Well, I mean, it's not so difficult if you just get a capture card. It's the hardest part.
What's a capture card?
What's a capture card? So, I have a laptop, I have a Super Nintendo, and Mario Kart. What else do I need?
Yeah, this is not going to
Capture-
work out. This,
Capture card in between and software.
You need some cables, some splitters, perhaps.
No, capture card and software.
Smallest amount
Correct.
of know-how.
Crappy one though. Grabby, that's should work.
Dazzle, boys.
Oh,
Yeah,
can I get all of
yeah,
this stuff?
dazzle.
Like for all this stuff,
I
can I
vote
get
for
it for
that.
under £50 for everything? Can I
Yep.
do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So
I might
next
start doing
week
that.
on Twitch,
Yeah.
the Clarkster.
You won't even need to listen to this anymore. You can just watch me.
Yeah. Just call
As
your
long as you-
call your stream Clark's NES updates live.
Yes, why not? I shall. Because it's not like you'll be watching it for world records or anything.
No, I'm just genuinely curious about your SNES.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I think the whole world is at this point.
Yeah. Does it have the yellow taint?
It sort of does. It's only recently that it's had the yellow taint in it, but only on one bit. Maybe it's because I've been pissing on it.
Right, that helps.
No, no. No, I haven't been. Why don't I just set up a webcam, just like all day, every day, 365, just looking at my SNES, and every now and again it might get turned on.
Do you know in Norway there's a phenomenon called minute by minute TV or slow TV?
No.
It started off
Never
with the what's it called? There's a boat that goes from the north of Norway to the south. It takes like 3 weeks or something. That was sent live on Norwegian television for
I'm sorry, what?
for the entire duration.
Wow,
Whoa,
we gotta
I'll
get
tell you
Scotty on that
what.
mode.
There is. I think it was 2 Christmases ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, on Christmas Day,
Yeah.
BBC Two.
Yeah.
It was like 4 hours long, I think, or two and I can't remember, a few hours long at least. It was just a woman and her reindeer walking along a path in Norway,
Oh yeah.
and it was just that.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
that.
this was also 2 Christmases ago. There was something called the rib, which is traditional Norwegian Christmas food. It's like the side of the
Right.
pig, and you cook it for 6 hours in the oven. This show was called The Rib, minute by minute. It lasted 6 hours on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Which,
It
that's
seems we go crazy for that in England as well.
literally a webcam staring into an oven.
Live on TV.
Yes.
Riveting stuff.
And this week there's a minute by minute. Lars Monsen walks across a Norwegian glacier.
That's more interesting.
Yeah, it's better, but it lasts for a week.
We should go live when we go up that mountain, Marius.
Yeah, well,
What's it called again? Svelneuze?
that's the first top.
Yeah. What's the last one?
Galdhøpiggen.
Right. We're coming back, Galdhøpiggen.
Next year, boy. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that. Anyway, I think that does it for the stream. This is not a stream. Clark, you
Not yet.
put me off my scent. That does it for the show. So I'm just gonna wish everyone good luck on the Karthritis challenge, the blindfold. I'm definitely gonna try to sub that Joe time.
It's
One
a
more
tough
week.
one.
Yeah,
It's a
one
tough
more
one.
week. Yeah, it's tough, but I'm not that far off. So maybe.
Okay.
If I
I'm just gonna get sub 30.
yeah, Clark, are you gonna get sub 30, bro?
I'm aiming for sub 40 initially.
Yeah, well.
How long do we have for this challenge?
Exactly 1 week and 2 hours.
Shit.
Shit.
No, well, I'm kind of busy this week.
We
Yeah.
can give it a few tries right after the show if you want, Patrick. The stream is set up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Unless you got other plans, it's fine.
well, I need to finish up Wipeout to get that out of the way.
That looks
Fair
like
enough.
a, like
We
a
can
good
do
time,
tomorrow.
actually.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, sure, tomorrow's fine.
All right, we can do tomorrow.
I like how this show is now 2 guys living in the same house, making plans.
You can cut it out.
No, that's fine. We will do no such thing.
Done.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we'll see about that.
well, thanks for joining today, guys, and I'll see some of you next week. And good luck with all your endeavors.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
All right.
You
Bye.
see ya.
Peace.
Bye.